Hero from America.
Of course, a Korean player on, I don't know if you'd call Team Liquid a European team, but yeah. Up here in the top left, our Zerg player, very strong he is.
Azubu Symbol from Korea.
Okay. We have another wonderful person joining the audience, Mr. Che out there. He's getting really pumped up watching these matches. So nice to see him supporting WCS. Well, Mr. Che running around like a loon right now. It's pretty funny. Wish you guys could have seen it. All right, so looks like Hero's going to be going for a Forge expand. It's going out for the Scout. You know, right now it's very similar numbers that we see Forge expand versus Gateway expand, which I never thought we would get to that day. You know, after Gateway expand initially rotated out like 2 years-ish ago, I never thought it would become this popular again. But it really, really is popular to the point where Zergs have completely changed their playstyle. Because it comes out so often. Well, Hero will scout that cub. Always marketing. Okay. Thing is, if you go Nexus first into a Forge, and they choose to just send lanes at your base, you're going to have to wall in completely. If they do, they're wrong. Even if they get in your base and kill 5 probes, they're wrong. Well. Looks like Symbol gonna play pretty standard as well. He's taking that third base, 3 base, like Baneling all in or something silly like that. Whereas of course, with Hero, he just simply doesn't have any tech yet. So get in the way. Again. Again, we have to wait till that's done to really get a feel for what's going on here. This is tech build before I could possibly sail. The builds that he could open with a Zealot, as opposed to not open with a Zealot. More old. School style of Stargate that we're seeing. He's making the Stargate behind his mineral line in his main base. He can go out, kill some Zerg. Zerglings, get them off watchtowers, things like that. And of course, he can also stop any overlords from coming in and seeing the Stargate. Which tells me comes up. Supply capped. Okay, Phoenixes being produced. And yeah, if he moves out with these immediately, I'll be a little bit surprised. Catching that Zealot is a nice little treat, but the Zealot doesn't really matter. Zealot push with some Stalkers, but normally you see that with a quicker +1. And the Phoenixes rallying out immediately. So this isn't one of those code, and the Roaches actually come up as well. He should end up canceling that. Looks like he's too busy microing to cancel. But no way that Hero's actually going to warp in units. The amount of damage he's about to do is crazy. He can easily kill every single queen, or he can go take out that cybernetics core. But there's easily enough defense here for him to hold on. Now one queen being taken out. Will he focus on drones? Will he focus on overlords? Definitely going to finish off that, or it should be. So this is actually really effective play by Hero. And you know what? I feel like those forward pylons play into this very well, because if you see those forward now, this is kind of cool by Symbol. He's actually thrown up the Spire, I think, to take out all the flying units and the possible Colossi. And what I think we're going to see is just like a lot of Roaches, a lot of Corruptors, and he's going to go in, try to what's going on here. Some decent scouting going on. I think he saw the Spire. I have to check that real quick, because that's going to tell Hero a lot. Yeah, he's seen the Spire. He didn't see the Hydralisk Den. But the Hydralisk Den actually isn't upgrading right now. With how many Corruptors he's making, I'm not completely sure that we're going to see Hydras. I think it's just going to be a very old-school Wings of Liberty Corruptor Roach attack coming in, which still has its place. We actually, oh well, there are 5 sentries out and 2 Immortals, so not completely sure how well this is going to work, especially with 3 Void Rays there to help take out those Corruptors. He's going to need a lot of Corruptors. He wants to get a strong attack going. So he's starting to move down the map a bit. That is a lot of Corruptors. 12 of them out right now. Hero is being so efficient with all this. For the resources lost right now, 2,900 against 600, just to try to put it in perspective a little bit. And most of the resources he lost were things like the Cybernetics Core and a Zealot and a Pylon, things that he really does not care about. Alright, so this is where Symbol has to get something done. He's destroying those rocks, so he has bigger surface area to work with. And in fact, right now his Corruptors they engaged for a moment there. But yeah, nice Nexus Cannon. I don't know that this is going to work at all for Symbol. You know, we see that Symbol has a big supply lead by 44, but that's normal because we have so much tech coming out of Hero and so many Roaches and Corruptors out for Symbol. The Roaches and Corruptors don't translate well to the late game. Well, the Corruptors do okay, but the Roaches don't. So this is actually looking really nice for Hero right now. But we do have Symbol going for some Storm Hosts at the moment, as well as Enduring Locust. A little bit sloppy right there, but the Phoenixes aren't as useful as they used to be. Still, a little bit more supply that he could have had flying around the map harassing is gone. And we do have the Hive on the way, so what we'll see with that Hive is probably just some Vipers mixed in. The one thing that he does have to be careful of, though, we have a Dark Shrine and a War Prism on the way. And really, the problem with Swarm Host play is it's highly immobile. So the mobility that Hero actually has out here is going to help him out immensely against them. And if there's anyone good at multitasking harassment around the map, it is literally this man, Liquid Hero. So right now he is very well defended. Some beautiful observing moves going on from Heavendom. And that was a nice little bait back for Symbol. At the cost of a couple of Roaches, he ended up killing a few Stalkers and forced a recall. So he's using up some of that energy on the Mothership Core. Always a great move. Because these Roaches, he actually wants to lose some of these Roaches. Thing is, he wants to trade them at some level at least. You know, if he can trade them for Stalkers, that's great. If he can trade them for some buildings or some time, that's fine as well. In fact, we'll end up losing all of them. Getting rid of some force field energy, I guess, is kind of okay. And look at how many Corruptors are actually going to be out here. We're about to have 22 Corruptors on the map. And that's going to be against 5 Voids. And it looks like it's going to be 2 Colossus out. But without a lot of Colossus, the Locusts are going to be very, very useful. Right, so we do have that Roach attack coming down once again. Some DTs being warped in. Beautiful defense there. They'll clean up very, very quickly and easily. And this is basically the scary part right now. We have a lot of Corruptors up there, but they're kind of coming in at different times right now. Looks like they are going to be more than enough to take all this out. And that's going to leave us with mostly Stalkers left over and some Immortals. So the Locusts will eventually eat through all of this. Wow, Void Rays are really good against Corruptors. I mean, I know they are, but every time I see it, it's kind of amazing. So, gonna continue to push them back a little bit. And there is an Observer there, so a lot of these units sign off. This is kind of a funny little attack we're watching from Hero that's doing like a lot more damage than Symbol probably ever thought was going to happen to him. Nice blink up there. And you know, he's just being so efficient up here that Symbol doesn't have too much of a chance left. He's going to lose so much of his tech. Look at the resources lost right now. It's actually insane. I think we're going to have to see Symbol GG pretty soon here. You know, Symbol losing a lot of tech, a lot of important units. And of course, this is now Heart of the Swarm, so we definitely can go ahead and resume from replay if he does disconnect, something like that. So shouldn't be a big deal, or recover game, I guess is what we call it. But Hero is in a ridiculously good situation right now in this game. Okay, it's 158 supply to 126. He's taking his 4th base. He's just killed the natural and main of his opponent. He's killed off a ton of Corruptors. He's been way more cost efficient. He's got DTs all over the map. I don't think there's many Overseers out right now, and he has DT tech after killing the Hive, so that's kind of brutal. And this leaves Symbol with 2 mining bases and just like a handful of Swarm Hosts. Really, really good situation for Hero, I would say here. This is definitely one where he can probably go ahead and take the victory pretty easily. So it looks like I think he's timed out here. That's unfortunate, but we'll see if there's going to be a remake of this game. You know, of course, we can recover games that are lost now in StarCraft 2. We have the technology. So probably just get into that pretty quickly. But again, this is probably the most painful thing that can happen to a solo caster is to be basically at the end of a game and then have it crash. Because now I have to talk about it. And it's like, well, guys, Hero's ahead. I really doubt he's going to lose to 7 Swarm Hosts and the 10 Roaches that are being built right now with 4 Corruptors. It's pretty hard for me to imagine. So I guess we'll just sit here and chit-chat a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the minimap. Not a whole lot left. So maybe what we'll do is just jump to a really quick little commercial while we wait for them to decide to remake this game. So that I don't end up completely losing my mind. So guys, we're going to go ahead, jump to a quick little commercial, and we'll be right back when this is all fixed. Thanks. All right, well, it has been decided that they will rehost this game. Now, with Symbol being down about 20 supply, I think it was, and in the production tab is four Corruptors and 10 Roaches. So then we have to add those together. That's 14 units being made. I should have anything. You need Corruptors in a really big clump to eliminate the air units. The thing is, there's no air units. There's 1 Colossus in production. And yeah, I guess 4 Corruptors can technically be used against that. But basically what I'm trying to say is, even though Heroes only, in quotes, up 20 supply, most of the supply that Symbol has here is not very effective. The small handful of Swarmos he has, well, Swarmos need a lot of support units, and 7 isn't a good number. You want to go Swarmos against Protoss that's going up to 4 bases, you need 20 of them. You don't need 7. 7 is not that impressive. The little groups of Locusts coming out, you can blink over them, you can run away from them. They aren't really that scary. They aren't really going to break the front of anything. So, looks like we're going to go ahead and jump into that game in just a minute. It is recovering right now, but I don't really expect for this one to go on much longer. You know, again, the units that Symbol's actually making right now are, I mean, when your army is 20 supply below the Protoss and it's basically Roaches and Corruptors, you know you're in deep. So, Hero still has his full tech tree, still has a lot of units in the main base. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident about this one. All right, takes a minute to recover the game. You got to get everyone back into their positions. Well, the thing is, they already have them in their positions like that. I guess what I was trying to explain is the technical aspect of what it's technically doing in the game, programming-wise. But then I realized that I was just totally talking out of my armpit there because I have no idea how any of this works. As far as I'm concerned, computers are magic boxes. So, however it is that you actually get all the information to each player's computer, you know, it gives them their hotkeys and all that stuff, so that's important. And I guess that takes a moment because this recovery bar is going up ever so slowly. Again, I hope that you're enjoying the solo cast. It's pretty fun. I enjoy it actually quite a bit. I get to actually like say what I'm thinking normally when I watch StarCraft, which is all the time. But it's more tiring saying it than just thinking it in your own head, believe it or not. So definitely a tiring day indeed. So the recovery looks like it's just about all done here. And here we go. It looks like it is paused. We're in the game at that last moment. And we should be starting in just a second, I guess. They're asking if the players are ready. And I think everyone's in a good position here. I'm going to go ahead and just check and make sure these guys are in the right spots. Yep, it looks like they both are. Yep, and they both are saying yes. And we should be unpausing this game in just a second. So let's watch these guys end it. And in fact, it's 160 to 24 supply, so that's more than a 20 supply advantage. Yeah, this is going to end pretty quickly, I think. So here we go, guys. Game is starting up. And here we go. A lot of locusts out there. Taking. All right, and so basically he's trying to make a comeback here with the swarm hosts, and it's not the worst thing to make a comeback off of, and he is making some more corruptors. So he's going to be up at 10 corruptors and 12 swarm hosts, which is okay, but the mobility of these Blink Stalkers, I believe, will end up being too much, because notice how they're just kind of running away from these Locusts. Locusts are much out there, Blink Stalkers out there, and he's just building up a quasi count at home to later roll through Symbol if Symbol hasn't died already. So notice how he does just stay away from these. This is a very hard situation when you're behind a Zerg. When you're behind this much, I guess. Now, he's just going to continue to maneuver, and there's no real vision on the map for Symbol right now. He's making Corruptor after Corruptor after Corruptor, but notice there's an Archon in there. That is very intentional, so that he can actually just kill the Corruptors that clump up. You know, Archons deal splash damage. All the Corruptors will clump up, probably, when they attack him. He's going to have to really spread them if he doesn't want them to. Notice he's targeting those Corruptors down right away. The Archon going to want to target Corruptors as well. And it looks like just about everything dying off. Good force field there, preventing those Locusts from coming directly up the ramp. And now what are you going to do, Locust? That's it. GG. I'm actually almost surprised that, I guess Symbol didn't know.